Good morning. It is Lions Talk with Smokkin Jeremy B. And yes, Von Doom is back, but he's cooking right now, so I got him on the mute burner for a second. Because it sounds like he's cooking bacon, and that was a little loud. We got Henry Gray in the chat. Good morning, one pride. It's a great day to be a Lions fan. I'm waiting for FFB and Ricky Sakat and everybody else to hop in the chat as usual. But it is a great day. Viking and Bears are playing. I think the Vikings are moving up to 1. That trade with Houston looks huge. But it is time for the show to go on, and it is time for your intro.
Show us here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out New Cat Bodies by Jeremy Smokkin.
Good morning. Let me get this off. See what's going on in the Leonard household. Yep, it is.
Just about done.
We're re-signing some of the smaller pieces because we just spent approximately 13 and a half of whatever we have left. And according to last night, 29 point. I'm going to mute you for a little bit more there, Leonard.
Yeah.
There. Fruity Fred Peterson in the house. Yes, Scott Daly is back. I like it. We also bring back Jack McQuaid into the practice? Into everything. So here is the trade, and I'm going to give you the trade points value, and I'm going to give my opinion on it. Minnesota made a trade with the Houston Texans. Vikings received number 23 and number 232. So they get their first round pick and their 7th round pick. The Texans received number 42, number 188, which is a 5th round pick, and a 2025 second round pick. So they get 2 seconds and a 5th. The trade value, it is very one-sided in the Minnesota Vikings favor. I think Brad Holmes, Lone Quezzy, is trade talisman for this trade. It's the only way that they got it. Oh, I love it. Everybody improved at running back, and we improved our defense. We improved our front line with the DJ Reader signing, as long as he's healthy. I say it is a B-plus type of signing for this year. Do you agree
Good morning,
with that?
buddy.
Do you agree with that assessment on the DJ Reader signing?
Yeah, not for the most part, I do.
And if he was fully healthy, it would be an A.
Yes.
But he's coming off that torn quad. That scares me. Yep, that's exactly what I think. One Funky Lions fan, they are moving into the top 3 because they have the first pick to do it. The new breed 313 Sports in the house. Good to see you again. It's been a long time since you've been here.
I think they're going for number 1. I don't think they want to take any chances.
I do too. I think they want to get their guy, and I don't think Caleb Williams is it. I think they're going.
I hope it is.
I think it's Jaden Daniels or Drake May. That's my personal opinion.
I hope they go Caleb Williams.
Now that we got our DT set, our cornerback room isn't completely set. We're still missing a true number one. Would you agree with that, Bonzo?
100%, I'd agree with that.
So at the back half, if one of those guys isn't there, guess what's going to happen? We're going to trade back, or we're going to take an O lineman or a wide receiver. That's what I see. If none of those defensive guys we want are at 29, they're either going to go O line, wide receiver, or trade back.
With all the signings and then those trades that came down yesterday, the whole freaking top end of the draft just got totally screwed up.
Weird.
Like,
it got weird.
Yeah, we all thought that the Chargers were going to need to go offensive tackle. Now there's a good chance they go wide receiver. We thought that the Cardinals are going to go freaking quarterback or wide receiver. I mean, and then what do? They trade for a wide receiver. They freaking cut their offensive tackle, so they may need a tackle now.
Yeah. We still need a guard, and I think Braylon Dennis, with what we added on defense, they have to go offense with one of those 2 first-round picks. They have to, because we don't have a starting left guard right now. We don't have the money to go out and sign somebody big anymore, so we're going to have to address that in the draft.
Either that, or they're going to trust rolling with Coyote Alcida.
Yep, I don't think they're going to do that, though. I think they're in the first 2 rounds. We are going to be getting either an O lineman or a wide receiver with one of those 2 picks. That's what I see happening. And I've only been wrong. And I'm glad I was wrong. It was when we traded back to 12. Mason McCormick is still quite back in the draft prospect list, depending on which board you think about. Okay, hear me out here. We signed DJ Reader for $13.62 million per year if they just break it off. Correct? If they just split it right down the middle, that's what it's going to be. But they never make it so it can be cleared. Cap can be cleared in the second year is what they do with every 2-year contract they've done. So it's probably going to be closer to $10 million cap hit year 1 and the rest of it in year 2. But I'm going to say 13.2 or 6.2 is where we're at right now. So if you take that away from 29 million, what does that leave you? 16 million. That means you got enough money for draft capital and injury signings. I think this move is done in free agency for right now, unless they clear cap. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying it as real as I can. I like keeping it real. I've seen Ricky Sakat in here. We got John Kapler. We got One Funky Lions fan. New Breed 313 Sports. Rudy Fred Peterson. Henry Gray. Braylon Dennis. I love all you guys. I love the fact you come in. But at the same time, one of those 2 picks in the first 2 rounds has to be an edge rusher. Be an SEC. And better. We got better on accident right after we signed Reader. What was the next move that was announced in the NFL? Does anybody know? I do.
Eric Armstead's.
No, Burrito Jones went to the Dolphins. Hallelujah. By subtraction. Right there.
Ooh. New Breed says Justin Simmons. I don't hate that.
I don't hate it either.
I don't think you can afford him.
Yeah, if Jerzon Newton falls to 29, and I doubt it, but if he falls to 29, 100%, I'm taking him, and our line is set for the next 3 years, even after Reed. I like Brendan Rice too, but so far he's still slated as a 3rd rounder, and that would be quite a reach to grab him in the 2nd round. And Brad Holmes, even though it seems like it reaches to the fans and the beat writers, he hasn't really reached.
Jack Campbell.
John Campbell. Wait, no burrito? I'm gonna go do my happy dance and hold my drink. I got be right back. I got to dance. Only way Burrito Jones could have been better was going to a team in the North.
Okay.
I don't think we're taking a first round corner because of how long corners take to develop, unless one of the super ones fell somehow. That's just my opinion, and I don't expect it. Every time I watch mock drafts, even by the pros, and yes, they're rarely right about who it is, but they're right about the position that these teams take. About 70% of the time. Would you agree with that assessment, Von Doon?
As long as you're not talking about like Mike Mayox, yeah.
Right. I'm not talking about Mike Mayock. Mike Mayock hasn't been accurate since he was a draft prognosticator to begin with. I'm talking about between Todd McShay, Mel Kiper, um, the good ones with the NFL Network, DJ. Good morning,
Really?
Tina. Who would I pick between Chop Robinson and Kool-Aid? Because of what it means to our secondary, I would pick Chop Robinson. That isn't even a thing about it. The reason why Branch is moving to safety is we finally have enough corners that are decent enough to field a nickel corner that's actually a cornerback. Now think about it last year. If they'd have moved Branch to safety last year, loud, bro. Are you in your living room? Sounds
No,
like the house in your room.
I'm in the dining room actually.
Oh, okay.
That was
Yeah,
a big ass truck coming up the road.
yeah, I know. It was so loud. I was like, wow. It normally isn't that loud with this stuff. Uh, Last year, if we'd have had enough corners in the room that were decent enough to field a good nickel, we wouldn't have started Branch at nickel.
Nope.
If you think about it.
You would have
Absolutely agreed. CD
you would
Deuce
have
being
definitely
hurt was,
started branching. My bad, sorry.
I was just he was agreeing with me. I think CD Deuce was a good thing for this team because Branch and Iffy played more. Good morning, all. Vaughn, are you next to a fan or something? No, he's in his dining room, and I think that's where his bay window is, and he's getting a lot of echo from the road.
Yeah, hold on, give me a minute. I'll work on something real quick.
No problem. So while he does that, Nate Wiggins out of Clemson, cornerback, according to the Mike draft, I look like is what it's worth according to CBS. I don't really pay much attention to the CBS mocks because they are all over the place. I'm talking about if you look at ESPN, NFL Network, and PFN or PFF's mock drafts, the real ones, not the ones the fans do. They're right about the players those guys take. If you add them all together and make a consensus on what position, they're right 80% of the time. Oh yeah, I get it. That helped with Joseph's development. We saw Iffy finally break out and be the player we wanted out of the third round with that compensatory pick that we got in 2021.
Tell me if that's
Branch.
better.
Oh, that's 100% better. I can hear nothing in the background. What'd you
I
do?
went and closed all the windows.
You had the windows actually open. Got it.
It's 70, man. I needed the windows open.
You got 70. I'm over here freezing.
You can
Why
keep that.
I'm wearing this beautiful national championship sweatshirt here with all the signatures of the team on it.
Gotcha. Ken Fisher, the two corners you signed, one is on. Yeah, they're both on 1 year contract, I believe.
Oh, Amik Robinson is a 2-year $925 million contract. It's only $4.5 million this year on his.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Quit being a homer,
Yeah.
Ricky.
Hey, I wore it for Ricky. Stop it. I
Ricky's
was
a
like, it's
homer.
still that if he pick was from the Stafford trade, yes, because we got the Rams compensatory pick. That was my point on it. Oh yeah, the Reader and Davenport signing was good and an upgrade as long as they're healthy. That's why I'm not going to give them A's on the signings because neither guy has been healthy over the last 3 seasons technically. So unless they play 3/4 of the season, it's not an upgrade.
That's why I hated that signing. I just wanted somebody that wasn't hurt. Just one big name, not hurt.
I know.
Just one.
Yep. And the Bears got a nice player, but we don't have Sutton and Jerry Jacobs covering both sides of the field now,
Don't even have Jerry Jacobs anymore.
right? Jerry Jacobs is gone. I just got this weird feeling they're going to sign him back to the practice squad because this is the last year he's practice squad eligible.
They probably should, honestly.
80% of the time, those non-CBS mocks work all of the time.
Um,
Exactly. Yes, I've said that immediately when I looked at his cap hit for this year. Carlton Davis may get extended with a restructure.
that makes sense to do it, though. Why freaking give up the capital if you're not going to keep him for more than 1 year?
And John Kapler, your statement right there is why I said, even though fans feel like this is the year to make the push for the Super Bowl, I've always thought it was 2025 from the beginning, and I told Von Doom that when he asked me about the hire when we first got everybody before we played it down when I met him.
Yep.
I said that for a reason. Should they keep Vildor as a depth piece for injury? 100% they should. Because if you think about it, he was in position to make that interception. He just didn't get his hands closed. And it was the luckiest bounce that ever happened off of a half-inch wide face mask I've ever seen. Why do I have
Luckiest, unluckiest.
Tina Passarelli? You don't have to do them. They suggest you do them so you get used to how they do the draft point assignment per round per player, so you can get an idea of who you might want in each round. That's what they do the mock fantasy football draft. But to do them before the draft is actually done and rosters are set for me, yeah, that's a semi, all right.
Yeah, they have the highway closed, so they're rerouting all the rock trucks through here.
Well, see, and everybody said Dan Campbell got extended, but he didn't. He got a pay raise because Dan Campbell was already signed originally for 6 years when we got him in 2021. So he was signed through the 2027 season, but he was only making like $6 million a year. So I said all along the only ones that got extended was Chris Spielman that was on a 4-year contract as the vice president of operations and assistant to Sheila Ford Hamp and Rod Wood, and Brad Holmes got extended by a year and a pay raise. Dan Campbell was already under contract till 2027. All he did was get a pay raise because he has exceeded what was expected of him. Yeah, and New Breed Sports, I agree with you. I think this team with a healthy JMO and Khalif Raymond will be dangerous. I just hope Goff doesn't use Khalif Raymond as a security blanket and miss JMO when he's open like he did last year with Josh Reynolds. If that happens, you're going to see JMO get hindered and everybody's going to think he's a bust, but he doesn't have that drop rate that he had from the beginning of last year because we saw it. He didn't have a drop from week 8 all the way to the NFC Championship game. Oh, 100% Fred Peterson about Vildor. But, Dan Campbell didn't really get extended. Everybody else got extended to have the same contract as Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell just got a pay raise. And Steelers signed Russell Wilson to a 1-year deal because he's getting $39 million from the Broncos. That's why they got him for $1.2 million.
I love the fact that they were only giving him 1.2 million, making the Broncos pay the rest.
Yeah, $39 million to from the Broncos. They got a $40 million quarterback for $1.2 million. Isn't that amazing?
If I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys still have the most expensive quarterback room in football.
No, John Kapler. Well, considering we play every first place team, and so far the only first place team that hasn't improved at all is the Cowboys, I still say yes because we play the Cowboys at Dallas. So yes, it is a harder schedule than last year because every team's improving. But when you're at the top, we are still improving. Orlando, I don't think the Bears are a problem still. They still got to decide if they're going to have a rookie quarterback or Justin Fields. I don't
I
see
think they
J-Mo.
can be a problem.
I think they can be a problem, but I don't expect it. Let's put it that way. Just because I think they should have went with a new head coach, a new quarterback, and a new scheme and started over. I I think he did. I 100% agree with that. They should trade back to 3 and take MHJ for Neighbors. Oh yeah, Marvin Harrison. It has everything you want. He looks just as good as good polished as his dad did coming out of college.
Just faster.
Yeah, he is fast. 100%.
I know.
Marvin Harrison was a great route runner, but developed up after the catch because of his great tackle abilities. He has all of that with speed.
Absolutely.
How much are the Vikes paying Davenport this year? It wasn't a lot. He didn't have a big guaranteed salary, but that's why he signed here for less than everybody expected. Yeah, I remember everybody. We were the top of the division. Everybody else is trying to get on the same level as us. Everybody else is trying to get up to our level. We were the second or third best run defense in the league last year, correct?
I think they're third.
Yeah, third. The only thing we lacked on is pass defense, and that's mostly because for 10 weeks we didn't rush. Like 13 weeks, we weren't a pass rushing team. Yeah, I understand what they had after the sweat trade. I'm not talking about their defense. The Packers are more improved, but at the same time, are they? The same Hager and McKinnon is great, but then they lose the other half of the field by cutting Savage. They sign Josh Jacobs. They let Aaron Jones go and have to bring back A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon is not as good as Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones wouldn't take a pay cut. That's why they let him go. They offered him more.
I understand why. I'm talking about talent-wise. If they would have kept Aaron Jones, that would have been the best running back duo talent-wise in the North. Production-wise, it's still the Lions, but talent-wise, you would have to give it to the Packers.
Would it really still be the Lions though next year? I don't know about all that.
Right now it is.
You're saying right now. I'm saying coming into the next year because if Aaron Jones didn't get hurt, it's not even a freaking conversation.
Aaron Jones hasn't not been hurt for 2 years.
I know, but if you look at what he was doing before he got hurt last year, and then what he did once it comes to playoffs, if he wasn't hurt the rest of that season, that man probably rushed for 1,600 yards himself.
You know what they're
But
missing? They're missing a good vet wide receiver in Green Bay to lead that room.
that might be all they need there is a vet, not even a good vet, just a vet to keep them on track because they have probably more talent in their wide receiver room than any other team in the league put together.
One of our Lions friends is sending a free agent corner. Javier Thomas is visiting the Lions, his hometown team today. Played the past two seasons and was successful with the Texans. He was a Division II All-American at Ferris State. Played high school football at Allen Academy in Detroit. So it
Who?
would be a deal signing. Yeah, exactly. Javier Thomas.
JB, I got an idea. Let's do an entire first round tonight.
An entire first round with us picking each pick.
Every player, yeah. Every first pick.
I call odds.
Okay, I'll take evens. Fuck it.
We look at Mike Williams. Why? I don't want Mike Williams here. He misses 7 to 8 games a year.
He's got bad knees is his problem. If you could have him play for like 12, 14 games and you could guarantee that, sure.
I think we're getting a wide receiver this draft. As much as anybody thinks that we're going all defense, you can't. In the one of those first two picks, you have to go guard, or you're not going to get a good one. And in all actuality, at 61, the guy that'll be staring you right in the face, and nobody here likes to talk about other than me and Von Doom. Mike Williams has been hurt every year he's been in the league. He's missed anywhere from 3 games to 8 games a year.
Knees, high ankle sprains, a shoulder injury. His problem is he's too physical wide receiver the way he plays. He's going to get beat up. He is, Orlando. He really is. That's why I was joking around last night saying, oh, Mike Williams is about to be aligned.
Yeah, I know. But thank God we don't have the cap room because he's looking to be paid too.
Oh, you guys need a corner. I hear Tre'Davious White's still available too.
That's your formula.
I was reading this morning that the Giants were looking at him with his Achilles is still pretty bad. I was like, I'm
Even
like,
Big Dan agrees. I don't want Mike Williams either, but his injury history makes him a Brad Holmes guy. Laughing my ass off. I had one of my guys in Motor City Media Fighters last night go and do a mock draft and gave us Eric Alt with the sixth round pick we got in the trade, 201. And I was like, that's great. You just picked a more injured version of TJ Hawkinson. You know what? Denver with a broken leg is a different type of injury. It's not soft tissue injury, and that's easier to heal from, especially at his young age. I would love if we draft Denver. Because if you're
I think
drafting him, has Will Harris been cut from the Lions yet? No, I think he still has that film of Aaron Glenn keeping his job with Dan Campbell.
I think you guys should trade up a couple picks above Philly and take Jackson Powers Johnson.
Or you sit where you're at and take Graham Barton.
I don't want him for the fact that he can play guard. I want him for the fact that he can play center.
I understand that. But Graham Barton plays all 3-year-old life.
Yeah, but Jackson's a better center.
I understand that. But if you sit there, you get your starting left guard. We need a starting left guard. Period.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, you get Powers Johnson. He could play left guard for you right now, and I don't think Frank Ragnow has much left on him because of that freaking turf toe injury that he has. It's not fixable. So he's playing every game in extreme pain.
And Glasgow can play center too. That's why I'd rather
Not
get a guard who plays center than a center who plays guard. That's just me. And if you can't get either one of them, you grab Cooper Beebe.
chop the toe off. Man, people ain't built the same. Who is that? They cut his finger off to go play the game. Was it Deacon Jones?
Yeah.
Who needs a toe? Lop it off. Well, considering it's his big toe, you need that for balance. So everybody.
It's your balance, it's your equilibrium, everything. And Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott. Yep.
Yeah, I know you want JPJ, but I'm saying it was Graham Barton and Cooper Beebe are the two best ones outside of that. And Graham Barton is actually better than Cooper Beebe. Put on a prosthetic. Let's go. R90. No, that's good. I know what you meant, John Kepler. Do I think yes, because he's probably not going till day 3 in the draft, and there's a chance he could fall to the 5th round. If we trade back, I'd like Barton too, though, so I'm good either way. Yeah, those are my top 3 targets for 29. I'm going O-line. Because there's only 3 great edge rushers in this draft, and then there's a drop-off.
How do you figure 3? Tell me your 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, 4. I forgot to include Latu.
That's exactly where I was going to go with that. He is the ultimate Brad Holmes guy.
Yeah, but I doubt we take him because you'd have to go in the top 15 to get him. I'm saying there's 3 in the top 15 automatically.
Yeah, well, I think his injury history maybe what drops him out of the top 15, but he freaking deserves it because realistically, he's the best edge rusher in the entire draft.
Right. Yeah, Jared Verse, Chop Robinson, Dallas Turner, and Latu, and that's no particular order. That's just naming them. And it's kind of like it's a 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D in a way. They all have very similar characteristics in how they rush the passer. They all have very similar characteristics on how they do the bull rush. They have very similar spin moves. Latu and Chop have the better bend. So I almost have them as 1A, 1B myself.
Latu's just more complete than all of them. I watched all of his freaking highlights, man.
I know. And he is the ultimate Brad Holmes type of pick.
He was injured for 1,000 days.
Yeah, I know. With a broken neck.
And then comes back to be the fucking best freaking defensive end in college.
What do I think about Darius Robertson? We don't need him.
He's a bust. Overrated, slow.
Well, that's because he played DT for 3 years, and then because of depth, they had to move him to defensive end because they had nobody worth starting. He's an actual DT. But look at his size. He is at that senior size and on the heavy side of it at closer to 300 pounds. So he's actually a guy that if he's there at 61, I can see Brad Holmes taking. Him and Michael Hall fits exactly the type of guy they've been looking for in the draft the last 2 seasons. Do you agree with that assessment?
I do, sir.
Because both of them have violent hand pop. Both of them are not the fastest guy. Both of them have a great bull rush. They have a good spin. They can collapse a pocket from the interior or the exterior. They both have a great get off. But they're more of a DT than a DN because of their sizes. They're both 6'3". They're both about 290 plus pounds. The sub 4.5 as a DT or sub 5 second 40. At a sub 5 second 40, that makes him an elite DT. But because Darius Robertson tested with the DNs, he looks like dog.
Yes. He's basically Leonard Williams without as much hand pop.
Right. He doesn't have as violent a hands as Michael Hall, so I give Michael Hall the edge over Darius Robertson, and I would have to seriously consider which one I'm taking between the two at 61.
If that D tackle from Miami falls there, I would take him.
Who?
The defensive tackle from Miami. I can't remember his name. It's Leonard something. His last name's Leonard. I just can't think of the first name.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I don't see him falling either.
He's been dropping down boards and everything I've been reading lately.
Wonder why. I still find it comical that the only team that attended Oregon Pro Day at all was Chicago.
I already told you. Nobody else needed to go see his freaking pro day. There's 47 years worth of tape on Bo Nix already in college. Nobody needs to fucking go watch him.
But guess who Matt Eberflus sat next to the entire time he was doing his drill?
Shit, I saw it. The guy from the Vikings, right?
No, he sat next to Bo Nix.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Huh, whatever. And Chicago went to Oregon for Bo Nix. Yep. Okay. With everything Chicago has done, if they were to get Bo Nix in round 2, does anybody complain at all and not think this guy's going to succeed?
Good morning, Will Vogel. And in nowhere am I saying Darius Robertson. Did I hear Bridgewater retired last year as soon as the NFC Championship game was done? He's going to be coaching high school football down in Miami.
He was like, fuck the cold.
No, had nothing to do with that. It was like, right. I see us getting 2 linemen in the draft. I think we're going to take our starting guard somewhere in the first 2 rounds, and I probably see us taking a center in the mid round.
For next year, yes, he is.
Yeah, Shedeur Sanders comes out next year. He went back to school.
Him, Quinn Ewers, shit.
There was a couple of them that went back. That's why everybody thinks the senior quarterback class is so deep, and it's not. Yeah, next year, Orlando Escobar Jr.
Realistically, Shedeur Sanders is Justin Fields with accuracy and the ability to read the defense.
Yeah, he just plays on a team that had to gut its entire roster and go all freshmen and sophomores through the transfer portal.
Yep.
Tanner Bortolini, and there's another guy I like because if he comes if he's back into the 5th round, grab him. Drake Nugent. Drake Nugent had a great year at center at Michigan. That's not a homer take. In the 5th round, if he's there, you grab him. He's a guy you can develop behind Ragnow and put him in a spot start.
Ken Fisher, yeah, the running back coach from the Buckeyes went to the Michigan to replace Mike Hart. I also saw something that Mike Hart's going to be interviewing for the Buckeyes position.
Yeah, he had some type of medical procedure he has to do, and he's rehabbing. And I think it has to do with how early spring training for college football starts. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Can we trade back and get back our 3rd and pick up our missing 4th and get the guard we need in the 2nd only early enough? Realistically, yeah. Someone named Jay Newton, huh?
There's on Newton. Detroit man's in love with him, and I get it. I think you have to take him. This phone is ringing off the hook.
I think that's actually my work phone. Hold on.
I don't think the guards are as deep as everybody thinks. There's 3 at the top, and then there's a fall off. You're the one that pointed it out to me, Andrew Merklinger, because he's a hometown guy, and we need depth. Zinter's falling because of his injury. He couldn't work out. He's gonna fall. He's gonna be a 4th or 5th rounder. He's not a 3rd rounder. He's like the 144th prospect, Orlando, and he has been the entire time. He has not moved. He has not went up. He has not went down. Zinter is there because he's an injury liability. Period. If you want to trade back to get all that, like 35 or 38, you got to lose the 29th pick. You got to not pick in day one. If you want to pick at the beginning of the 2nd round and get a 3rd or a 4th rounder back, you got to trade back out of the 1st round. It's the only way it makes sense is if you trade up in this draft at a certain point.
Shit.
You got your
That thing's
window up.
flying.
No?
No, that thing was flying.
Good Lord. All O linemen and on Michigan are 3rd rounders. The stud on it. No, none of them are 3rd rounders. That's what you're missing, Orlando. None of the O linemen from Michigan have a 3rd round grade. Not a single one.
Realistically, they're not that good, and they don't project that into the NFL. The team itself was just good, and you're a homer because they won the national championship, and it's your team.
The earliest O lineman I've seen is 4th round. Earliest.
Yep.
It's Zach Zinter. And he was hurt. That should tell you everything. They had a pro-style offense. They had a good. Ruiz has been off the team for years. He's been in New Orleans. What are you talking about? I'm talking about this year. I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about this year. My goodness, Orlando. Quit being such a homer and bringing up the past. The past doesn't matter. I'm talking about this year's draft.
Yeah, Michigan sucks.
I didn't say that.
I had to. I couldn't help myself, man. I'm a Hurricanes fan, so trust me, I understand what it's like to suck for a while.
Yeah, I know. You're still dealing with the Giants still sucking.
That's okay. I've seen 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime. 3. We made it to a 3rd in my lifetime.
The guy out of Washington is actually a tackle that played guard this year. He's listed as a tackle in the draft. Isn't it?
Pooney? Oh, Sultano, yeah. The big freaking, like, foreign name. Oh, no, what's beyond those draft Orlando must be on the other chat page.
Talking about, yeah, he's chatting to the Facebook page. He's from Lions Villain Squad. It's fine. I get it. I love him. I think he's great. And I love the fact that he just pounds the table for Michigan guys. But guess what? The only 3rd rounder from Michigan in this draft is Mike Sanderson. The only possible 1st rounder is Roman Wilson, but he's more than likely going to be a 2nd rounder.
Well, let's be real. There's another possible 1st rounder, and I hate it, and I hate it, and I hate it.
Oh, yeah, J.J. McCarthy, because that's who rumored your Giants want.
From what I read recently, they're very high on Jaden Daniels. I'm just praying to God that if he goes, they don't freaking panic and take JJ.
They will. That's who Joe Shine loved to begin with. I'm not trying to curse you. It's just it's written in the stars.
Eat a dick.
But you know I'm right. What was the
I, I,
initial report from the combine immediately? Because you bitched about it for 2 days.
I did because it really bothers me. Like, yeah, he's got physical tools. Cool.
He's
He's
got
not freaking polished.
right,
He's not. His mechanics suck. He can't throw to the left, and he's too damn small. He'll get killed in New York.
especially by the media.
Well, yeah, that's it. They're not nice there.
Say what you want. Our fandom and our media is way nicer to our players for any team out there in the NFL. If you're in LA, you're under scrutiny. If you're in New York, you're under scrutiny. If you're in Chicago, look at Chicago right now. They don't know what to do. Part of them wants Caleb Williams. Part of them wants Jaden Daniels. The other ones say run with Fields, trade back and build the team. There is no in between with them.
Big Ben, that'd be great, but I truly think that they're tooling up to go up for number one to get Caleb Williams. How about this? If the Vikings really did say, screw it, trade up to go get Caleb Williams, and then traded Justin Jefferson for those two firsts and T. Higgins, they could be
Great.
a scary team.
Yeah, exactly. Now, granted, T. Higgins is no JJ. Let's not make any mistakes about this. But he is a good top 15 wide receiver all day, maybe top 10.
Yep, and he'll make contested catches. He just won't stretch the field as bad.
No, I don't see Blake Corum. Blake Corum right now has a 4th-round grade on him.
Yeah, I see him going in the third if he's there. Because
Yeah,
again, Joe Schoen's high on him.
I think the Chargers take him in the 3rd round as a reach.
Didn't they sign a running back too?
Yeah, but it was nothing major. Wasn't it Naheem Hines?
Um, I don't know. They still got
Bears,
other running back out there,
hey, Brent,
Spiller, don't they?
they need everything all over the place. The Bears need everything all over the O line and everything else. Oh, they got Gus Edwards.
Gus Edwards, yes.
Yeah, it's a mid move to me. Gus Edwards is not great. He's a guy that also has struggled with injuries. They basically got Austin Eckler without receiving ability. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. Ken Fisher, don't say that. That man's super sensitive. That's
Orlando.
funny.
I've said it repeatedly what St. Brown has said on his own podcast, and yet you refuse to believe it. He's not upset with the money. He doesn't feel like he's being lowballed. He wants more years. That's it. I love it, Dan Davis. Harbaugh was drunk when he signed Gus Edwards. He thought it was Donovan Edwards, not remembering Donovan is still at Michigan. Man, living next to a highway must suck.
Yes and no. It's not even a highway, dude. It's just the main road when they freaking shut everything off.
The Gus Edwards moves to the Chargers. I said that basically what they got is Austin Eckler without being able to. I don't know who they talked about because I missed it. I know they signed somebody for 30 million, or maybe they extended Keenan Allen. I don't know.
30 million? Hang on. Of course, soon as I open up freaking X, first thing I see, recapping the Giants offseason to this point. And it's fucking a picture of JJ McCarthy. Fuck you. Wow.
What's Brown's podcast name? 33rd.
They're the 33rd team, right?
33rd team. And they actually do really good. It's him and his brother. They interview players from college. Von Doom living in Iraq. Those bombers are getting close. Who should the Lions get to help in the secondary? They should get a pass rush. Oh, we're gonna sign Brown. He just wants it for years. The 33rd podcast. I like listening to Pat McAfee because he's kind of like this show is and making ESPN cringe every time he throws out an F bomb. It's true.
Yeah.
I just like being real. I like giving an honest opinion. Um, the fact that I write for the Motor City Tribune that's owned by the South Florida Tribune, who the publisher is a 43-year media man from Detroit that now lives in Florida. So we actually get the NFL transcripts from everything said in the offices in front of reporters and everything else for the Jags, the Dolphins, and the Lions. I get those emails to me every day. There's a presser. I don't have to watch them. I get it in print, and sometimes it's way better to have reading comprehension than listening comprehension because some people say stuff and then add words in that wasn't said.
Dude, Mike.
They say the National Guards are going to Oklahoma during the solar eclipse. Yeah, because the last time they had a solar eclipse in Oklahoma, they had Timothy McVeigh, the Unabomber, hit there. Just saying.
When is the solar eclipse anyway?
April 8th, if I remember right.
Huh.
Hoof-hearted is the New York's new QB, LOY. I think Prescott is done. Think about it. He hasn't played 10 games in a season in forever. He's been trash. Yes, April 8th. I was right. 32 people watching, 12 people with reactions out there. Pound that like button, people. Let's see where you guys are watching from. 12 are watching on Twitter. Let's go. 5 from the Kneecap Biters. Another 8 from Football Talk 365. And 8 from the Lions Villain Squad. You guys are great. That's fantastic.
Ricky Saccott. That Tavier Thomas. We talked about him earlier. We have no idea who the fuck he is.
He's just an All-American, second team All-American for Paris State. That's all I know. And he graduated from a high school in Detroit. Do you think we need a wide receiver? I think we're going to get one in the draft. I don't think we don't have any room really to do anything in free agency, but some depth signing. So, because he's cheap enough and he might not fall into the 51, you might be able to get back DPJ right now because Reynolds is gone. Reynolds
Better be gone.
Jimmy Davis and Lions Villain Squad for life. I want to thank everybody here. Don't forget, please, if you want a little less lag and a little better viewing pleasure, it's on YouTube. Facebook has a bigger lag than any of them, and I don't know why. It just happens that way. So hop on over to the YouTube side, join either my channel or both channels. It doesn't matter because you know some shows that they got don't go live into their channel. I put all mine. Reynolds is gone for sure. I'm pretty sure, but his market value is over 7 million. We only got like 16, 20 left, and we got to have 10 to 18 for rookie cap.
So I told you who you guys should look at, and nobody even wants to pay any attention to it.
What?
It's such Isaiah Hodges. It'd be so under the radar. Don't look at what he did this year, but the year before.
I don't know what Brad Holmes does with his under the radar moves. He signs people out of the blue all the time. So I'm just gonna sit back and wait.
He's exactly what y'all need. He's like 6'6", a contested catch guy.
Or you draft one
Probably cheaper to sign him.
for a year.
Hell, he made Daniel Jones look good for half a year.
Yeah, Reynolds' value is almost 8 million,
Fucking know how.
and well, because of how clutch he was in the season. They're not taking into effect that he quit on the team in the national champion or the NFC championship game.
I wonder if he would take a super friendly deal to go back to Detroit, considering how much he probably made on betting the under and freaking cap game.
Shut your
Just say he already got his money.
I'm saying they need to check his family's account. Somebody got paid. That's why
Yo,
he was silent. Somebody bet his salary bonus from last year, and he got paid. Well, if we actually look at it, the injuries we had are injuries that no strength and conditioning coach could predict for last year. What we didn't have is we didn't have 19 players go down at the same time due to soft tissue injuries. So our strength and conditioning coaches must be pretty good because the previous 2 years we had that.
do you know when all these injuries started happening? When they started taking away the ability to freaking train these guys in the off seasons, all the two a days and stuff like that, the harder practices. As soon as they took all that stuff away, people get injured more now.
And one less preseason game. That game 4 used to be your dress rehearsal for the season. You would see your starters play for 3 quarters, and then everybody that was on the bubble played the fourth quarter.
Just take away the preseason, make it 22 games. Let's go. Make it all count.
Uh, Actually, last year didn't MetLife do away and went to grass? They got rid
They
of it,
went to a. It's still an artificial turf, but it's the new stuff that
but
it's
it didn't
supposed to be.
near the injuries it's had over the past 15 years.
No, it was way better than what it was. But the problem there really isn't even the turf or the grass or any of that. It's the
Drainage.
drainage.
We talked about this. We
Uh
talked
huh.
about this. I knew what you were going to, and I've mentioned it. Yeah, they went to the newer hybrid turf, and it wasn't as big an issue as it had been. They had that slit turf before, and that stuff, if it's wet, it's ice, and that was the problem.
Yep.
Um, so the hybrid turf is like a mixture of soil underneath it plus a turf and everything else, and makes it a little more realistic. Isn't that what it's supposed to be?
It's supposed to be. The only problem with that is, especially with MetLife there, because of the way that drainage is, when you pull that turf up, it's like mud underneath it.
Bulldoze MetLife so we can find Hoffa.
Man, if
Hoffa,
you honestly believe Hoff is anywhere near that, you're crazy. His ass
it's
went into a freaking trunk and went into a fucking.
Lake Erie,
I think they crushed his ass in a fucking compactor.
and then drop that brick of where it's crushed in Lake Erie, is what I'm saying. He's in Lake Erie.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think he ever left that car.
Nope. He took the executioner's type bullet to the back of the head.
He shouldn't have fucked around.
And what else? You two major theories. Uh, Jimmy Hoffa is the epitome of the saying "fuck around and find out," people.
Yeah. Major theories, man. I had a great one last night. It came out as a joke, but it made perfectly reasonable sense.
Oh God, I'm scared.
I'm gonna have to tell you. Okay, so you heard that whole Vince McMahon thing that went on, right?
Yep,
And how he orchestrated all that. Somebody
yep.
brought up the Xavier Woods, Brad Maddox tape that came out a couple years ago, and I'm like, nobody got in trouble, nobody got fired. I wouldn't be surprised if Vince paid them to make that tape for himself and then he released it.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. I thought Bruce Almighty already found Papa. Jim Carrey. That was great. Well, guys, it is time for me to talk about the sponsor because it is time to go. As Brent said, Stacey, y'all, I didn't even realize it was noon already because we were having fun. But going forward, I see us with around 16 million in cap up to 20. Like I said, split it down the middle for the DJ Reader signing. 13 million against the cap puts us at 16 million. It makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. Have fun, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky, good luck with that. I'm just making sure Hoffa still lost. Mandela effect got me cross-eyed. Just like the Fruit of the Loom symbol, they say the cornucopia was never there in the old days, and it was.
It was.
The lady broke out an old T-shirt she had and showed it in a picture. Because now Fruit of the Loom just has the fruit on it and no cornucopia.
Orlando. Sinbad was a genie. Yeah, I remember that. And they tried saying that he wasn't.
Sinbad did play a genie in a movie. I have it somewhere.
Yeah,
I
but
remember.
apparently that's not a thing.
And everybody forgets it was a great movie that was loosely based off the. Go ahead, I'm getting echo from you again. Weird.
Peace me.
Yes, I do. I have that movie on VCR. I still have a VCR that works. I could probably plug it in and watch it today.
KB watches all of his nudie movies on the VCR.
So, no, I'm not getting myself copyright infringement. What are you talking about, dude? You can't show a movie on a podcast.
Shazam was Shaq.
Yeah, Shazam was Shaq. That had nothing to do with Sinbad. Oh, just the cassette. Okay. I'll have to find it. I know it's in one of these damn things, but I'll find it.
Kazam was Shaq. Same thing, man. Shazam. Hold up. We about to go. Yeah, you're right. Shazam was. There was. We're not even fighting. I ain't yelling at anybody. I ain't cursing at nobody, man. There's no fight going on yet.
Um, actually, Shazam, Shazam is Sinbad. Shazam is the movie that's making all the things. 'Cause Jonathan Brandis played the kid. You guys know who Jonathan Brandis is, right?
Off the top of my head, I don't.
Jonathan Brandis was the kid from Sequest.
Oh,
Also from Sidekick. Yeah, and yeah, he's been in lots of movies as he got older. He just wasn't that cute kid anymore that could just do everything. Anyways, it's time to talk about the sponsors. It is Friday. You know what Friday means. When it's a Friday and it starts with an F, what does it mean there, Leonard?
it's FTP Fridays. That's fuck the Packers.
And also fuck your feelings.
Yes, sir.
And also one of my best sponsors, Gloss Negron, the best window tinner in Saginaw. Give them a call, 989-443-9240. Set your appointment to take your car to 409 Hamilton Street in Saginaw and have it either window tinted or detailed. And last but not least, Brandon Service. 810-233-8230, 602 West Atherton Road, corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road in Flint, Michigan, 48708. Give us a call. Check us out. We can take care of all your tire needs, whether you need a used tire to get you by, a set, or brand new tires. Call us to get a quote. Talk to George in the morning or Smoking Jeremy B at night. Yep.
Yes, sir.
But it is always a great day to be a Lion fan. And for Von Doom, it's a great day to be a Giants fan. They
Yes,
haven't
yes, it is.
they haven't drafted JJ McCarthy yet.
Yep, it's okay. You guys will draft Bo Nix.
It's gonna be Chicago. They're gonna trade back. They're gonna take Bo Nix and shock the world. Or they'll
I
sit
could
right
see
there and
him
take Bo
being
Nix.
good there.
That's it. They're gonna sit right there and take Bo Nix and shock the world and pull the Mitch Trubisky move 2.0.
Oh my God. Paul Jones, we don't want JJ. I don't want JJ, please.
Come on, that's funny what I just said though.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I know I got it somewhere.
My mind would be at peace.
But you guys have a great day. Try every day to be a better person. You were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. Much love to everybody in the chat. We had New Breed, Detroit 313. We had Henry Gray, One Funky Lions fan, John Kapler, all you guys in making all this great stuff. And we had the super homer that is Orlando Escribano Jr. saying that all of them should go day one and day two. I mean, I love Michigan to death. You see it. It's on my chest. But just because they won the national championship doesn't mean all 18 of those guys that were invited to the combine are first responders. Yes, Adam McIntyre, you guys have a blessed day, and we will see you tonight, 9 o'clock, with the Lions Fan Cave chat. Might be trying to bring in a few more guests we haven't had. Yep, Harbaugh got another fourth. Here we go. Thank you, everybody. Neuter